if I have a gift, and everybody has gifts, I say that with absolute certitude. Everyone has a gift or gifts. Mine is for clarity. I've always aimed for clarity. And by the way, in everything, that's why I love the best cameras, because I want the clearest picture. I want the clearest sound in my audio system. I love clarity. Anyway, that's available at pragertopia.com. Prager, T-O-P-I-A. Okay. Wanted you to know that. I raised an issue recently on the Ultimate Issues Hour. Why did God create us? Why did God create the human being? It's not an easy question to answer. There is no clear statement in the Bible, which is the book that introduced this God, as to why God created us. We can make suppositions, and we should. But we don't have a complete answer. I don't think it's available to us without actually getting an answer from God, and I'm not sure we would understand the answer if God gave us an answer. But it's a fascinating question. Look, the atheist doesn't ask that question. The atheist answers, why are we here? The answer is random chance. So those are your two choices. There's random chance or a creator / designer, right? Why did the creator create us is a question. Why did random chance create us is not a question. The only question is, do you really believe that we went from inorganic matter to Shakespeare by chance? That's why I've often played Charles Krauthammer, the late, great Charles Krauthammer, when I asked him on this show what he thinks of atheism. And he said, that of all the ideas, that's the wildest. And he's an agnostic. He was a secular man. It is astonishing to me how atheists, not all, but certainly atheist activists, their arrogance of their certitude dwarfs the certitude of believers.
Oh, I believe atheism is the least plausible of all theologies. I mean, there are a lot of wild ones out there, but the one that is clearly so contrary to what is possible is atheism. I mean, the idea that all this universe, I mean, what is it, always existed? It created itself ex nihilo? I mean, talk about the violation of human rationality. So that to me is sort of off the charts.
Violation of human rationality. That's his characterization of atheism. It is. It violates human rationality. That's correct. Agnosticism does not. Atheism does. But that's not my subject. I just wanted to make clear the context in which I asked the question, why were we created, is not a question that an atheist cares about. There is no answer. Why were we created? We weren't created. We evolved from stellar matter. Not bad, eh? From stellar matter to Mozart. The old thing, if, enough monkeys on enough planets for enough years, and somebody's going to type out Hamlet. Doesn't really work. They tried it at some university in England. They got a bunch of monkeys and a bunch of keyboards to see if nobody expected Hamlet, but would they get the word the? And they didn't even get the, because the monkeys pooped on the keyboards. So the keys got stuck. And that ended that experiment in enough monkeys on enough keyboards with enough time. It is one of my favorite stories of my life, that experiment. So when I asked on the Ultimate Issues Hour, why did God create us humans? So most of you called in. Don't call in on this because I'm moving to step 2. So don't call in until you hear what topic I'm raising. So most callers, especially Christians, called in to say we were created to glorify God. And I have heard that answer from Christians, a beautiful answer, by the way, and it has been given to me by Catholics, Protestants, for all of my life that I have posed that question. Now, I was posed that question at a YPO, Young Presidents Organization event in Washington, D.C. many years ago. I was the Jew, and they had a Catholic, and they had a Protestant. And they said, we're going to throw a bunch of questions at you without preparing you in advance. So, fine. So the first question is, why did God create man? And the Protestant and the Catholic, the minister or the pastor and the priest eloquently spoke about our being here to glorify God. And then I spoke and I said, this is going to sound really unsophisticated compared to what you just heard, but I believe God made us to enjoy life. And I have no doubt God wants us to enjoy life. There is no doubt in my mind, and it is certainly in keeping with my religious tradition of Judaism. One of the 5 questions, the Talmud says, one of the 5 questions we will be asked when we die is, why did you not partake of every permitted pleasure? We will actually have to answer to God for why we did not enjoy life. That's I buy that. But now I have a question, which I never thought to ask when all the people who called in and I've asked in all these years, and I never asked the most obvious question to those who say God created us to glorify God, to glorify Him. How do you glorify God? What does that mean? And I have my answer. And that's what I'm going to give you, and then we'll take the break and you can call in. This is my answer, but it's biblically based. Isaiah. The holy God is made holy or sanctified by righteousness. Ha'el hakadosh nikdash b'tzedakah. It's an extremely famous line because the Jewish liturgy took it out of Isaiah and put it in the prayers. That's a very big deal. And it's true. Good religious people glorify God. Bad religious people desecrate God. And to bring in my outlook, happy religious people glorify God. Unhappy religious people give God a bad name. So those Christian answers and mine coincide. Happy religious people glorify God. Good religious people glorify God. You want to alienate people from God? Be religious and act bad or act unhappy. 1-8-PRAGER-776.
The Dennis Prager Show, live from the Relief Factor Pain-Free Studio.